Nazi U-boat maestro Karl Dönitz is winning the Battle of the Atlantic.
Happy hunting.
One torpedo straight into the magazine. Bullseye.
One torpedo, one ship.
This is our happy time.
20 seconds. That must be a record.
Our main weapon has to be the torpedo-carrying U-boat.
Britain is on its knees.
If we keep losing ships, the country will be down to just a few weeks of supplies.
People will be starving to death.
May the enemy never know the secret of our success.
The British are oblivious to the U-boat's tactics.
You need to get in the minds of those U-boat aces.
No way back to Germany this time.
There are glimmers of hope.
The capture of the Enigma machine was a huge coup.
Well, let's find them and destroy them.
But they prove to be dead ends.
Find out what's happening and sink the U-boats.
The Royal Navy turns to the Wrens to uncover the U-boat secrets.
That is what we will do here, by playing through scenarios and recreating battles in a war game.
So, who thinks they can sink a U-boat?
Admiral Dönitz's U-boats are hunting British convoys like wolf packs. They work together to track down their prey and coordinate their deadly attacks.
Looks like a good day for us. Enemy convoy inside.
AM 1452, northwesterly course.
Speed?
8 knots.
About 30 ships. Will shadow convoy till support arrives.
Jawohl.
The weather to hunt. St. Elmo's fire. It's an omen. It's also an omen. The Kretschmer is about!
But I wouldn't want you to get ahead in the tonnage wager.
You greedy bastard! We can share the tonnage we sent to the bottom.
Plenty to go round.
The orders are to wait till nightfall.
Happy hunting.
The U-boat captains are driven by a fierce competition to sink the highest tonnage.
They got awarded the Knight's Cross if they sunk 100,000 tons of cargo. This is a game of one-upmanship. Kretschmer, Prien, they are focusing on the prize.
This is the era of the great U-boat aces. This is where audacity pays, where poor defense of convoys is something the Germans can exploit.
The competitive U-boat aces are wreaking havoc on transatlantic trade. And the Royal Navy doesn't understand their tactics.
By the early spring of 1941, Dönitz's U-boats had sunk a total of 650 ships.
You have an island nation where 95% or so of the energy that Britain requires is brought in from abroad, 70+% of the foodstuffs. It's a terribly dangerous situation.
The British are losing so much shipping that Winston Churchill issues the Battle of the Atlantic directive. He orders that all U-boats are to be targeted and all U-boat shipping yards have to be bombed.
But it makes little difference. Dönitz protects his U-boats in concrete submarine pens. Churchill's bombs fail to penetrate them.
Germany has conquered France. Because she's conquered France, she now has a sequence of Atlantic ports that enable it to get directly into the central Atlantic.
Dönitz can attack convoys leaving the southern ports of Britain with impunity, So the Western Approach's convoy routes are transferred northwards to Liverpool and other ports. The convoy command headquarters is also moved to Liverpool.
This was a place of constant activity, 24/7. The majority of the people working there were the Wrens.
The head of the Wrens, Vera Lawton-Matthews, wants the Navy to give her team even greater responsibilities.
Sir Percy Noble was in charge of Western Approaches in Liverpool. Now, he was a man with enormous experience in the Navy.
Thank you for coming to Liverpool.
He was an old hand, he knew the ropes, but he'd never really faced something like this before, and he was desperately trying to find a way to stop these terrible, terrible losses that were being inflicted by the U-boats.
It's a relief to escape the bombs raining down on London town.
We have our own blitz. A bomb landed a stone's throw away from here. Quite a commotion.
Nowhere's safe. How did the Atlantic cruise go?
A real eye-opener. Bloody chaotic mess would be a polite way of putting it.
Did you learn anything?
I was on a destroyer attached to the escort. Orders from shore were flooding in, sending the other escort ships on wild goose chases. In the end, our destroyer was the only escort left protecting the convoy. The poor captain was going stark raving mad.
Any enemy engagement?
Thank God, no. Between curtains for us all.
You need to get in the minds of those U-boat aces, so they're called.
Well, that's easier said than done, I'm afraid.
Let me know if the Wrens can do anything to help. We are here to serve.
Thank you. I do appreciate having your Wrens here. They certainly brighten the place up.
They can do more than that. Much more. How nice to see you.
Vera Lawton-Matthews is going to individuals in the Navy and going, the Wrens can do this. The Wrens can give you what you need. They can fill these positions. This is powerful stuff.
Vera Lawton-Matthews is determined to transform the Wrens into a force who can help fight back against the U-boats. The U-boats had another advantage over the Royal Navy. They could communicate in secret, so the Navy could not predict their movements.
We are back in business. Send beacon signal. Enemy convoy in sight. Square, AM 1452, course 330 degrees. Report convoy at 1249. Speed 8 knots.
The Germans sent their messages through an Enigma machine. When the operator would hit a key to input a letter, that would be transferred through 3 rotating wheels, each had 26 positions, so that by the time it was sent out into the ether, that key had been changed, get ready for this number, 160 quintillion times.
Send to U-99, U-70, UA, U-37. Report by short signal yes when attacking.
Dönitz is asking for updates all the time, but these are gibberish until we can break the code.
One man who might be able to predict the U-boat movements through wargaming is Gilbert Roberts. But his career in the Navy was cut short by tuberculosis.
Due to his illness, Roberts, at this point, is in the Home Guard. Those who can't serve in the front line volunteer for service in defence of the UK. It's better than nothing, but must have been a heartbreaking experience for a man with that level of understanding in naval tactics.
goes there.
Oh, for crying out loud. Game's up. Let's gather round. I'm sorry to say it, but if this had been the real show, we'd all be goners. You lot are as inconspicuous as a herd of bull elephants.
It's my lumbago, sir. I think I've caught a cold.
Well, better it happens here than when the Germans arrive.
You're all right, sir.
Thank you. I used to be 100% fit. Now my health is just fitful.
When he applies to all sorts of jobs with the Navy, he's told, well, no, I'm sorry, we can't accept you back because of this illness.
He wants to be doing something for the fleet. He's waiting for an opportunity.
Meanwhile, the Wrens are using what intelligence the Royal Navy have in the Western Approach's plotting room.
Wrens played a key role tracking the location of the known convoys and the suspected Wolfpack units.
I wanted to be a plotter because I discovered that they had a very interesting job. The plot consisted of a large map, and you could see all the number of enormous ships, battle cruisers, destroyers.
But the U-boats rarely give away their positions. Driven by Dönitz's tonnage competition, Preen goes for the biggest kill of his career, the Turgey Viken, a whaling ship now converted into an oil tanker. But the main attraction for Preen is not the oil, vital for the British war effort, but the fact that the ship weighs over 20,000 tons.
It's big. A whaler. Set torpedoes. Range 450 meters. Depth 9 meters. Course 330 degrees, 8 knots.
Torpedo set.
Fire!
Direct hit. 30 meters from midship.
That's a few thousand more tons for our tally.
Wait. The beast isn't sinking.
Sink the ships. That was the key.
Go to hell.
Dönitz's overall grand strategy for how the U-boat could win this war was to sink as many ships as possible, add up the total tonnage.
Center U-37, U-47, U-70, U-99. Report position by squares, by short signal. Who's attacking the whaler?
He needed to instill competition among them in order to increase the tonnage. He worked out that he needed to sink 700,000 tons of cargo every month to win the war.
This carefully designed competition kicks in. Kretschmer tries to claim the ship for himself, but the intense competition makes him and his fellow aces reckless. It's a flaw in Dönitz's strategy that will come back to haunt him.
Our turn. Let's put the wounded beast out of its misery.
Set torpedoes.
Torpedoes are set.
Fire.
Hit on the port side. The crew are abandoning ship. Sink, you bastard, sink!
We're picking up propeller noises on the hydrophone.
How close?
Too close.
Enemy escorts
Two of them. Dive, dive, dive!
The Royal Navy misses the chance to destroy Kretschmer's U-99. But Dönitz has lost all contact with Preen's U-47.
What's going on? Are their wireless transmitters down? Where's Preen in the U-47?
We don't know, sir.
Transmit to Wolfpack. U-47, report position and condition. Come on, Preen. Where in God's name are you?
Dönitz never gives up. He keeps sending out messages going, send me your location, but he hears nothing.
Anything? No, sir.
Scheiße.
It was all going so well, and now silence. What's Preen playing at? I bet he's going to claim the tonnage of that hefty whaler.
While the U-boat aces are obsessed with tonnage, Vera Lawton-Matthews knows that if she can get enough intelligent women into the Wrens, the Royal Navy will eventually run out of male brain power and be forced to come to her. And she has a strategy.
What do you think of the new uniform? After all, you'll be wearing it.
Well, ma'am, I like the hat. I think it's jolly elegant.
Well, it darn well should be. I had Edward Molyneux design it. I want my Wrens to be the talk of the town.
I shall wear it like a cat on a catwalk.
The Wrens are given this very lovely uniform, actually. I mean, it's designed by a famous fashion designer.
We had tricorn hats with a badge at the front.
The trousers are rather fetching. My father always said a woman should not be seen dead in a pair of trews.
It's about time we started wearing the trousers.
It was a very smart uniform, black stockings and brass buttons.
It looks lovely. Thank you.
It made the Wrens very popular to join. People joined for the clothes, really. Everybody wanted to join the Wrens.
As the Wrens fight to have their abilities recognized, Kretschmer is relentlessly pursuing the crown of Tonnage King.
Sir, we have something. It's faint, but it's definitely propeller noises. To the south. Very good. Surface and head for that bearing, true speed.
Kretschmer, keen to add to his tonnage, is alerted to a 41-ship convoy transporting vital oil supplies to Britain.
We're spoiled for choice. Let's start with the oil tanker. Set torpedoes, range 1,500 meters.
Torpedoes set.
Fire. That's as good as it gets. Set torpedoes. There's more than one oil tanker in this convoy. Fire. That makes 6. One torpedo, one ship.
Let's head home.
Kretschmer has just taken his tally to an astounding 47 Allied ships, weighing over 273,000 tons. But flushed with success, Kretschmer's U-99 becomes complacent.
Get up, man! Get up! Sound the alarm! Achtung! Achtung! Dive! Dive!
Why the devil have you dived? Are you sure we couldn't have gotten away on the surface?
Yes, sir. The destroyer's 800 meters from port. They couldn't have missed us.
Full speed submerged. Let's get out of here. These depth charges are too close for comfort.
Sir, we've lost all thrust in the propellers.
He goes far beyond the depth that he should. And so his instruments are broken, so he's forced to rise to the surface. The British are waiting for him.
Let's get out of here.
I'm afraid not, sir. Electric motors and steering are kaput.
Radio Lorient. Now! Give me that. 2 destroyers. Depth charges 53,000 tons. Capture Kretschmer. Prepare scuttling charges and destroy all documents and ciphers. No way back to Germany this time.
In just over a week, in March 1941, things are looking much brighter for the British. Dönitz has lost contact with not one, but 3 of his U-boat aces.
I need you to find me U-99 and U-100 now. Kretschmer. Shepka, where the bloody hell are you? Don't go quiet on me like Preen. Any news?
The U-37 has passed a message on from Kretschmer. Bombed. Boat sunk. Heil Hitler. Kretschmer. 2 destroyers. 53,000 tons.
Add the 53,000 tons to Kretschmer's tally.
Dönitz knows that Preen is never coming home. And now Kretschmer and Shepka are missing too.
They were like sons to him, his U-boat commanders.
For Dönitz, it was a great shock, because Preen was the paragon of U-boat ace. He was a people's hero, and now he was lost.
When Otto Kretschmer was still alive, I asked him what he thought was Preen's fate, and Kretschmer thought it most likely that Preen was hit by one of his own torpedoes, that he was hit by a circle runner.
Preen may have run out of luck, but the truth will likely never be known.
Very shortly after Preen's mysterious death, Shepka, who was another of the great aces, is also killed.
I'd like to propose a wager.
It's almost as though fate was listening to Shepka when he was betting his friends. First, the 250,000 tons of shipping buys the champagne. And within a few days, all of them are taken out.
Killing two and capturing a third is a very major coup for the British.
This could be the turning point the British need in the Battle of the Atlantic.
They think they're going to be able to interrogate this guy, they're going to be able to get something out of him.
I must apologize for the welcome.
May I have those back, please? They were a gift from my leader.
All in good time. All in good time. You've made a bit of a name for yourself.
Simply work in the service of the German Navy.
Going through the pockets of all of Kretschmer's crew, the British find this little plan of how a U-boat would attack a British convoy.
The British don't realize the significance of this sketch, of this diagram, that this might have been the key to avoiding so many more losses from the convoys.
Nobody of importance saw it, and so the British were still as clueless as ever.
It's a massive missed opportunity. But the British do glean one positive piece of intelligence from the German prisoners.
Very good. Thank you. U-47, that's Preen's boat, correct?
Gunther Preen's boat.
Well, we know what happened to Kretschmer and Shepka, but it looks as though they lost Preen as well. Let's say our destroyers got Preen. Revenge for Scapaflow at last.
Very good, sir.
U-boat down.
The British use it as a propaganda coup. They announce the fact that he's died, and they even draw up leaflets over Germany saying, "Wo ist Preen?"
A fine morning to you, Miss Laidlaw.
Ma'am?
I see the Germans have finally admitted that rogue Preen is no more.
I was heartened to see that Kretschmer received a brusque reception from the good folk of Liverpool.
Quite. Let's hope our homegrown Inquisition can eke out the U-boat's dirty secrets from him.
Thank God we have got rid of some of the worst of them.
I fear there may be many more where they came from.
These three U-boat aces were not unreplaceable. A new generation of experienced U-boat commanders had grown and had learned from the experience of the U-boat aces.
Karl Dönitz, undeterred by the loss of his three aces, is more determined than ever to win the Battle of the Atlantic.
Mein Führer. I'm pleased to report that our U-boats have sunk 90 enemy vessels and 500,000 tons of enemy shipping. But we must do more. We're on the cusp of great things. With more U-boats, we can ram home our superiority. So I must ask again for the fleet of 300 U-boats. I will then guarantee you a victory that will bring Britain to her knees and will go down in future histories of the Third Reich.
I will consider it.
Thank you.
Dönitz would like Hitler to make U-boats the highest priority, but he's fighting against Hitler's commitment to the land war, and Hitler's just not ready to make that move yet.
After failing to win Hitler over, Dönitz faces a major setback when the British seize an intact U-boat off Iceland in the North Atlantic. But that's not all they capture.
The crew of the HMS Bulldog, the nearby destroyer, quickly got to the U-boat and were able to conduct a quick inspection.
They find this extraordinary-looking typewriter.
The capture of the Enigma machine and codebooks was a huge coup.
If we can crack these codes, then we can know at least where the wolf packs are going to attack. This was an enormous moment of optimism, of great hope, that finally we can get inside Dönitz's mind.
At Bletchley Park, a group of eccentric mathematicians, puzzle solvers, worked hard to try to crack into this code and famously built what amounts to the world's first analog computer.
Cracking the Enigma code soon brings a breakthrough, and the Wrens play a key role.
You've seen the news?
Yes, the Bismarck, marvelous.
Indeed. I'm proud our Wrens in Y service in Scarborough helped hunt the Bismarck down. On the QT, of course.
Mum's the word.
You wouldn't talk to your family or friends about what you did. I was in the Y stations. Letter Y stood for naval intelligence. We needed to know whether German U-boats were lurking to attack our convoys. So what we were listening to was the radio signals between German naval bases and ships. You would sit down and you'd start twiddling up and down the wavelengths that the German fleet used, and if you picked up a signal, you would just write down exactly what you heard. The officer would inform Bletchley Park if it was code.
Wrens like Pat helped track down the Bismarck, Germany's most prized battleship.
In the Bismarck chase, they're gathering intelligence, they're analysing the positions, they're predicting potential German courses of action.
They've discovered that the Bismarck was in fact pointing in an entirely different direction, and they were able to pursue her and sank her.
It becomes apparent that the Wrens are really good at this sort of stuff.
Thanks to the cracking of the Enigma code, the Wrens can monitor the German U-boat wolf packs much more closely.
If you look at what happens to convoys over the summer of 1941, Germans can't find them because they're reading the signal traffic as the U-boats are sending it or as Dönitz is replying. The principal means of defending merchant shipping is avoidance of the enemy.
But it's a temporary reprieve. The Germans regularly change their codes, and it proves impossible to track every wolf pack so the convoys can avoid them. This has tragic consequences for the Wrens.
The Aguila.
Yes, I'm aware.
The SS Aguila, the commercial steamer, was torpedoed and sunk off Spain. 21 of my Wrens were on board. They all perished. Had they been aboard a Royal Naval destroyer, they probably would have escaped the attack.
A destroyer was also sunk.
Don't evade the point. The point is that my Wrens are not allowed aboard Royal Naval vessels because it's considered to be bad luck. This is pure superstition. It's medieval. What is bad luck is that they were aboard a defenseless freighter. From now on, my Wrens will only travel aboard Royal Naval vessels on foreign assignments. Is that clear?
I'm all too aware. I sympathize with you and, of course, with the families of all those poor young women.
Your sympathy is all very well. But I demand action.
The SS Aguirre tragedy meant that the Navy had to rethink its policy about women and Wrens not being able to go on ships. The law was changed, and finally women were also able to go on board naval ships.
I just heard about the Aguila. Did you know any of the Wrens?
Each and every one. I personally selected those who went to Gibraltar. Bright, lovely women. 12 of them were from Y Station, Scarborough. When I was told, I was in the countryside, enjoying the sweet aroma of honeysuckle. And now, I shall forever associate that smell with my girls. My poor girls.
How sad. And to think they were all lost on a slow old freighter. It's a tragedy that will just be repeated.
No. It won't. I've made sure of that.
In September 1941, the British hit a new low when wolf packs sink 23 ships from 2 convoys alone. Despite their apparent breakthroughs, the Royal Navy seems to be back at square one.
We have the results of the inquiry into convoy SL-87 that I ordered. It does not make for an edifying read. The fact that 7 out of 11 ships were sunk with no retaliation against the enemy is to be deplored. Shocking, I think you'd agree.
Yes, indeed.
And it's not for want of protection. The escort was a strong one for a convoy of this size. It is clear that the efforts of the escorts were poorly coordinated.
Understood, sir. Loud and clear.
What has become of our invincible Royal Navy? Never before in my long career have I seen such lack of gumption.
The Prime Minister gives us more ships. We'd at least have a chance.
I'm trying. But we must deal with these U-boats once and for all.
Leave it to me, sir.
So Percy Noble realizes that if they do not find a way to stop this terrible U-boat menace from sinking all of these ships, that the British are going to have to capitulate to Hitler.
The problem is we don't understand how the Germans are operating.
Our agents in Spain have sighted a convoy in Gibraltar.
How many ships?
32 merchant vessels protected by escort ships.
Send a message to U-67. Tell him to monitor the convoy. Put the other 7 U-boats on standby to attack.
HG-76 is the 32-ship convoy, but with 16 escorts, plus an auxiliary aircraft carrier. The Audacity and the escort group is commanded by Frederick John Johnny Walker.
HMS Stanley reports that she's under attack by a submarine.
These damn German hearses. Where are they?
Fire flare.
Buttercup astern.
Contact, 1,200 yards.
They've got modern radar, and the great advantage of radar is it provides the kind of intelligence that Walker needs to tumble the battle in his direction.
5 depth charges. Prepare to ram.
What's going on?
It's radio silence from our U-boats.
Order another 3 U-boats to join the wolf pack. Tell them to regroup for another attack. We need to sink this convoy.
We've been pursued by more U-boats.
Well, let's find them and destroy them.
Buttercup starboard.
Walker comes up with this idea of Buttercup, which is to turn his ships outward and to try and go over where the U-boats are.
Come into our little trap.
His assumption is that if he illuminates the entire area and moves out into the periphery, he will be able to pick 1 or 2 of these U-boats off.
Problem is, it lights up the aircraft carrier Audacity.
God's sake. Must be the Audacity.
This is a ship that, of course, the U-boats can then identify, and they sink it.
Let's even things up.
5 depth charges.
Come on. Buttercup has prevailed.
4 ships are sunk, but so are 5 U-boats. You call that a victory for the convoy in that case.
We've lost 5 U-boats.
5 U-boats. We can't let this happen again. Have they changed tactics?
We've seen no evidence of that. They managed to blunder into our pack.
They must be using some new technology to help find our wolf packs.
The British believe they have found a riposte to the U-boat menace, thanks to Johnny Walker.
Congratulations, Walker. You've delivered a long overdue message to the Nazis and their damned U-boats in the best naval tradition.
Thank you, sir. Although you should thank Buttercup.
Buttercup?
It's my pet name for my wife, Eileen, and it's the code name for the tactic we came up with to give Jerry a taste of their own medicine.
I'm sorry?
The idea of Operation Buttercup is to force the U-boats, the hearses, to dive. It's the easiest way to finish off a submarine is underwater with depth charges. We illuminate the sky so that we can see them if they surface and try to slip away under cover of darkness.
I see. I'd like you to write up this Buttercup maneuver in full so that I can issue it as part of our escort group operational instructions. Well done, Walker.
Thank you, sir.
Walker, a superb commander, arguably the best ace of the war, but at the same time, he hadn't discovered the way the Germans were operating. That took other minds in another place.
Hang on. Hang on.
Commander Roberts.
Yes. I was told to expect you.
Serious doubts have been raised on high about Buttercup. Senior British admirals suspect it is another false dawn.
The Royal Navy has to find a fresh approach to Dönitz's tactics in the Battle of the Atlantic, and they find Gilbert Roberts in an unusual place, training the Home Guard, retired, a survivor of tuberculosis.
May I ask where you're taking me?
London, sir. The Admiralty.
Can I ask why?
No. Orders.
Mystery tour. What fun.
Roberts is whisked up to London for a meeting with Cecil Osborne. Now, Cecil Osborne is an aide to the Prime Minister, Winston Churchill.
Commander Roberts, thank you for coming at such short notice.
It was an invitation I couldn't refuse, sir.
Yes, good. Straight to the point. It's clear that something needs to be done in the Battle of the Atlantic, or we will lose the war. Simple as that. The Prime Minister is most worried. Merchant ships are being sunk at far faster rate than we are able to replace them. That's where you come in. I hear you've developed some interesting ideas about wargaming.
I have, sir. It's become something of a preoccupation.
Good. We need to do something about the U-boats. A fortnight ago, we had a breakthrough. Captain Johnny Walker was escorting a fleet out of Gibraltar. Faced with a full-on U-boat attack, he managed to sink 2. In all, we sank 5. Walker, somewhat flush with his success, called the whole thing Buttercup.
Buttercup?
It's what he calls his wife, I believe. That's all well and good, but with my tactical hat on, I rather wonder whether Walker's success was not down to Lady Luck.
Lucky Buttercup.
One more small thing before you go to Liverpool.
Liverpool?
Ah, yes, sir. We are ready.
Find out what's happening and sink the U-boats.
Well, yes, of course.
Time is not on your side, Roberts. You must uncover the U-boat's dirty tricks by recruiting and training a wargaming team. Got it?
Yes, sir. School to play games? And I'll need men to staff the unit, too.
All my best men are at sea.
I hear you're in need of staff.
Sir?
The Wrens. Ladies, if we lose the Battle of the Atlantic, we lose the war.
Sir, the board is set.
Buttercup works.
The Royal Navy are relying on luck to protect the convoys.
We need to analyze U-boat attacks and find a tactic to destroy them.